come back. I don't wanna move. I'm gonna plug it in the home like I always do.
evening, good evening, good evening. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Victory Talk. Woo! I am your host, Lady J, and our co-host is here with us this evening, and we are excited about the show that we have planned for you guys this evening. It's an informative show, an enlightening show. So just a little quick housekeeping. Y'all text somebody, tweet somebody, call somebody, message somebody, and tell them Victory Talk is on. We are just coming to you tonight, and we are just excited about what we are going to learn tonight, because just in doing our research, I know that me and Key ourselves found out so much information that we were like, wow, just blew our minds. It just blew our minds. So we are just going to go ahead and get excited. We both of our guests are in, and my sisters, I ain't seen them face to face in a minute. You know, you see your friends and your family on social media in this season that we're in, but to be able to physically see them, let alone being able to put our hands on them, we just looking forward to the day when we can actually do our little show from, you know, face to face. But for the moment, God, this is good. So I'm excited to see them, and I'm sure that you will be excited to see them as well. But before I go ahead and jump over to them, bring Key in. Let's hear from our co-host. Key, where you at?
I'm cut off a little bit. Hey, everybody. What's up? What's up? What's up?
She looking all cute today, y'all. She all cute. All righty. So go ahead and take us back, and we're going to get our guests in here. So tonight we have with us, we have Dana Rasco. Rasco or Roscoe? Rasco. All right, I got it right.
Rasco.
And we have Sharkel T. Johnson. And these ladies are both, man, they do some amazing jobs. They do amazing jobs. They are caregivers in some way, shape, or form or another. We are all caregivers in some way or another, but they take their caregiving to a whole nother level. And so, and Dana, she not only is a caregiver, but she's also a daycare provider. So that's caregiving as well. So it's just going to be really interesting to hear about caregiving from their points of view. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce them and let them tell a little bit about themselves before we get into the meat of it. So Dana, come on and share. Tell us something about you that, you know, that some of our guests don't know.
Well, I'm not from the area. I am from Ohio originally. I did attend Wilberforce University as well as Central State. You know, they're sister schools. They're basically across from one another. And Central actually started at Wilberforce, and Wilberforce is our AME school. I did attend there. Accounting was my major. Economics was my minor. So people don't know that little about me. I've been caregiving now for the last 2 years, but actually it's been a lot longer because of me taking care of my dad in terms of drive back and forth in the business up here. So those are just little pieces. And I am a child care provider. I've been doing that now since 2012 and then sold insurance. So people don't know I sold the insurance. So those are a few tidbits. I'm a leader.
Well, I'm going to jump in there. Dana is also a mother, and she is a wife.
Oh.
Yes, she's a mother and a wife. So
I did leave those pieces off, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I love them dearly.
Awesome.
I guess when I'm starting to put on hats and take off hats and put on some more hats and take off some more, it just, you know.
And Dana, you also do Tupperware, don't you?
It just comes with the territory. Yeah, I do that too. And Pampered Chef.
She's doing a whole lot.
So don't tell nobody.
Whole lot.
And I've been doing it. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are doing a whole lot.
I like. So I keep myself busy.
Cal.
And
yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Sharkel. Hey, Sharkel, can you hear us? We don't have sound for Sharkel. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Key, did you say something?
Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear. I think I can hear you.
You're breaking up tonight. Well, you're breaking up tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with our sound. Can you ladies hear me clearly? Can y'all hear me clearly?
I can hear.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I keep freezing up on my end.
It's a little delay,
freezing.
but
yeah. So am I choppy? Am I choppy when you're hearing me? And to the viewers, if anybody out there, Lisa, I know that
what
you're
is going on.
Erica, I know you're on. Eric, Lisa, you hear me clearly? Ronette, hey Ronette. And so, do you guys hear the ladies clearly? So, Dana, go ahead and talk a little bit again.
Can you hear me? Is it a delay?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Going
some more?
Yeah, you're good. Sharkel,
now,
can we hear from you again? Okay, Sharkel, are you on your laptop or are you on a desktop or your phone? Okay, so she says Ronette is saying she can hear me clearly. Erica can hear Dana, but none of us can hear Sharkel. Sharkel, you might want to go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. So in the meantime, while we're trying to get things straight with Sharkel, let's go ahead and talk to Dana. Tell us a little bit about the point that you're in, the point that you're at with caregiving.
So for me, the point that I'm at with caregiving, I actually ended up in 2019, in May of 2019. A decision was made that my dad could no longer stay in his home by himself. He had to have someone stay with him. And because it's basically me, my brother, I have a sister, but she lives in California and she's already taken care of her mother. We have two different mothers. And so it's me and my brother. And he was doing a lot of the caregiving from a distance. So he was going to the house and dropping, like food or medications and things like that off. Going just to make sure that he had his basic necessities. But when it got to the point that they said he could no longer live on his own, I said, well, the only other option he has, because he didn't want to go into a home, was he could come here. So those were his options. Either you pack it up or you're going to have to go into a nursing home. And so he chose to come here because he said, I don't want to go to a nursing home. So I said, okay. So I drove to Ohio. We packed up his clothes, and I packed up his lift chair that I had just bought him. Just went to the store in January and bought it. Put that in the back of the vehicle, packed it up with as much as I could, broke down equipment and brought him and came on up here. It probably took me about a couple of weeks to get the house together, to figure out where he was going to go inside of the home, making sure that, I had the amenities necessary so that he would be taken care of. And so I kind of I did that, and then moved him here. Um, it's been challenging the entire time because he actually went down for the very first time in 2017. So between my brother and I, we were kind of like piggybacking, but I've had power of attorney. So I've been handling all of the finances, the house, because he's still a homeowner, the vehicle, the bills, bank account, all of that good stuff. So I've been handling all of that, and then and now I'm actually doing the health as well. So it was a challenge because he had a lot of health going on. He has dementia, and so it hasn't started taking its toll until now because it's actually getting worse. As he's aging, it's getting worse. And so when people are caregivers, and I'm not a subject matter expert, I'm only speaking from from what I've been dealt or what I've had to deal with. As a caregiver, it is difficult, especially if it is a close family member, such as a parent that you're now taking care of, because really the roles are reversed. The parent is no longer the parent. The parent is really the child that you're basically having to care for. So he refuses to take medicine. So I'm crushing medicines. Those are things that, come with the territory. He's combative at times. So that, again, with dementia comes with the territory. He's set in his ways. And then those are things that we have to actually look at and take into account too. We as adults, we forget, we enjoy our freedoms. We enjoy having our own space. We enjoy being able to get in our own car. We enjoy being able to go when we want to. And those are things that once they get to those stages in life, they're not able to, and they're having a hard time grasping that concept. They're having a hard time grasping that they're not able to do those things anymore. Being told that you can't drive anymore. Imagine someone telling you can't drive your car anymore, and it's your car, or that you can't live in your house anymore because they feel that you're a danger to yourself. But you're like, that's my house. That's the mindset, when we're getting older, that things that we have to take into accountability. And then, say, well, I'm not taking it from you, but I have to do what's best for you to make it safe for you. I don't want them to put you into a home, but that's what they're going to do. Who's going to do that? I'm going to get an attorney. That's what he's always said to me. I'm going to get an attorney and I'm going to fight y'all and I'm going to get back in my house. And I said, well, you can go right ahead. And they're just going to really put you on in the home, those type of conversations. And when you have that, going on, you're laughing and you're like, okay, sir, the doctor said you can't drive anymore. And the doctor said you can't stay in your home by yourself anymore. And the doctor said he kind of needs you to take these medications to help you prolong your life. So the choice is yours of how you want to handle it. I can do it your way, but it's not going to work out. So how about you try it my way, just a little bit?
Yeah.
The foods, different things like that. That's other things to take into account too. The diet has had to change, and it's had to change that drastically. So where he might not have been getting all of the stuff that he should have been getting, he's now getting it. And then in addition to that, they've taken more stuff. So they said reduce the sugars. Two different doctors, the dentist and his doctor, reduce the sugars. No salt. So the only salt that you can cook is with whatever is already inside of the meat. He has gout, so he already can't have seafood. No shrimp, no beef. And if you do, it has to be in moderation. So those are things that you have to look into when they're prescribing medications. Like they kept prescribing, and he had all these different pill bottles, and he was telling me he knew what he was taking, and he's to take this there. And I was allowing him because I was like, okay. But then I said, wait a minute, but what is this that you taking? Because this medicine is older than all of these pills. And this bottle says 2000 and we'll say 17. It's 2019. Where did this bottle come from?
Wow.
And
It sounds
so,
like so much goes into, let me jump in there, Dana. It sounds like so much goes into when you're being the caregiver for a parent or for a family member. And it sounds like it's really a whole lot of challenges to overcome, things that, I mean, you're saying things that even in our research, things that we didn't even really think about or things that we didn't look up. I did notice that, you know, there are multiple types of caregivers. And Dana, I'm glad that we got to hear from you first, because you are kind of in the situation that if our parents live long enough, God willing, for those of us that have parents left, or those of you that have parents left, we're going to come to this point at some point, you know, even with a family member. But as I jump down to Sharkel, are you with us now? Can you hear us now, Sharkel? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Yes. So, Sharkel, before we talk about the type of, because you kind of fall on two sides of the fence of caregiving. But before we talk about that, Sharkel, can you give us some background, because you have medical, medical background in the caregiving field. So come on and share with us. Tell us something about you, Sharkel.
Let's see if I can make this a little brief. I don't want to bore y'all with all of this, Kevin. Like I said, I've been in the medical field, correct, for almost, let's say, 25 years now. I started off, like I said, as a CNA, med tech, did office, all the different things that you can call. I was there. But mostly, like I said, my heart was more into caregiving and taking care of others. So I currently, like I said, was working as a therapist, occupational therapy, and I work with the elderly. My heart, even though I love my children, my grandchildren, but the elderly on my feet. The other part, like I said, as far as caregiving is concerned, yes, as Dana was saying, it's a lot to think about. It's a lot because not only that, as kids at the time, we don't take care of ourselves. And that's a heartache in its own, because of the simple fact that as much as we love to care for others, we also need to also take care of ourselves. And I had the hard way, because for me, it was a lot, trying to do the different things that we wanted, we do for her. But with that being said, right, I don't have my parents. However, being, caregiving for them, it was a lot of for my, getting her back and forth, making sure she does what she wants, she needs to do everything, not what she wants to do, a whole lot, that goes. But, when you caregive in what they call like an official form setting, like in the nursing homes and things, it's a little bit different. And regulations you follow, can't really like take them like you want to. Like a lot of times you're so attached to your residents that it, you feel like I can't take them home with me. However, being with them, trying to make sure they get different things. But on the same token, it's that you have certain restrictions with. You still want to make sure taken care of, and it's a lot because when I clock out at the end of the day, still thinking about, is that patient being in the way that they should be taken care of. When you have shortages in certain some of these nursing facilities, and some of them are not getting the care that they need or that they deserve as such. Like I tell the residents I've always worked with, one of those things where I treat a person like I want to be treated, or my family member wants to be treated. And it's in the mindset in the beginning, it's a job, but caregiving is not just have a passion for it. It's not like something you can just do just on the whim because, oh, well, they're paying me. Trust me, it's not. However, it's the passion that you have for caregiving, and it makes it, and like I said, I've been doing it so long, I do it in my, however, it does take a toll on you, careful. And, like I said, if you just, if you see the average caregiver, you can tell, and like I said, it's one of those things where I can tell enough, lay back, don't do this, you got too much on your plate. What do? We do the same thing, you know what I mean? So it is hard, but it's so rewarding. And
one of the things that that I come to realize is the demands of managing failure, and can be really frustrating, in terms of the caregivers when you, for lack of better words, lose someone. But, I know that is stressful, because I hear you talk about the attachments, and how you come, even with not even just your own family members, but with those that you're taking care of, even in the healthcare setting, But so let's talk about,
yes,
your support systems. Let's talk about your support systems. So, where do you get your support at? Yeah, because that's you said, wow, Sharkel. Who supports
girl,
you? I'm not talking about this. You sound like you want to talk about that one. Come on, Sharkel.
What the thing about the support system. Always tell family members, especially when they have a loved one in a nursing facility, make sure you have who will be with you, that's going to support you through once you leave this nursing home. For those who do go home, are you going to be set up in a proper, setting where you have your family member, you have that friend, you have that somebody. Now, as a caregiver, we all know that it can be hard because we always feel like the only person who can get it done. So having a support system, even though it's there mentally, I can tell you, yes, I have my husband, I have my children, I have my grandchildren now. However, in my head, I'm saying I'm the only one who can get this. So I had to learn to step back and let somebody else do some things for me. I say some things because I'm sort of like that. I have to make sure it's being taken care of. But it's one of those things where I had to, because it was like overwhelming, and like I said, even though I have people there who I can honestly say, Jackie, I would be like, girl, I'm these different changes and I don't do it for me, and trying to balance different things. So that we're still trying to get things done with the church, you're still trying to get things done with your anything else is going on. But at the end of the day, we had to sit, I'm gonna say, like, the Lord rest her soul, but Reverend who told me you cannot do it all, and really had to marinate with me, because I just felt like I had to be the one who do it, and it was going to get done. It was like, you know, at the day, I had to sit down and really like, because it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah, it sounds like the biggest challenge in your support system is allowing the help. Is allowing somebody else to step in. Dana, I see you nodding your head. Is that your story?
It is difficult because there are times that you know how you set things up. And so when someone asks me because they went to go visit a family member that is aging and that has dementia, and they said when we go there, you know, she's kind of like overbearing or things are like this, and I said understand, when especially with a dementia person, you have to kind of keep a schedule. They sunset, and when they sunset, they're gone, and so you need to get everything that you need from them, to talk to them, to do with them early on. And so you got to kind of, because their body becomes accustomed to it, they become accustomed to it, and you can't kind of like teeter on it. Just like even with children, the same concept. Children like consistency, they like a schedule, and so you got to kind of do that same thing with them. But then also, I've told people of a support system, the best support that you can give someone is don't come in and change what they have. Ask them what their schedule is. Ask them, do they have it written down? Or if you want to be of assistance to them, ask them to write it down for you so that they know where everything is, what gets done, where, when, and how. So you can be of assistance to the changing things, not becoming a hindrance, and actually assisting them. Give them a break. Maybe they want to go and have one-on-one time with just themselves in a hotel room. That's something that you can offer to them. Heck, put them up in a hotel and give them the night off. Tell them to write a list. You can do that as a help to someone who is a caregiver. How about cook a meal? If you can't cook, go buy a meal and say, I'm going to bring something just for you. I want you to go take a day and go pamper yourself. Those are things that you can do for a caregiver, to give that caregiver that sense of self, so that they're taking care of themselves and ensuring to take care of themselves so that they can continue to care for that person. It is difficult to have a true support system. I'm glad that I do have a few people that I can call on and ask them to assist me with different things, whether it's taking my dad for appointments, whether it's helping change. He has wounds, so he goes to wound care. So I also have to change the wounds for wound care, because the nurses that they do send don't come every day, and the doctor has specially wants it changed, and they made sure that I'm trained, able to change those things, know what to look for, what not to look for. They put that on the caregivers. So when you want someone to care for a person, you know, outside of you, you kind of want them to.
Because I have a question, and I don't want to,
go ahead.
because somebody posted something. I don't want to get too far off this before we get into something else. Can either one of you explain to those of us who don't know, what is sundown?
Sundown, and
it's called sunsetting.
Or sunsetting. What are you?
So basically, it's the term sundowning, where so I said was okay. So sundowning is basically an older term where most of the time at night. So the patient or resident usually does things like 5 5 o'clock in the morning that they would usually be doing like maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's a conditioning where their brain, the basically set like it's a different time in the atmosphere, the patient acts different. So sometimes they get like wanderers. Some of them start do different things that is not like the norm, as you would say, but it's more or less they start acting out of character at a certain time. Some people get really sleepy. Some people get really antsy. Some people start just doing things out of the ordinary. But really, like I said, for us, most of the time we see sundowning in the nursing facilities. A lot of times you see these patients, they're trying to do something. You have to do it at a time we're up and more alert, because once they do get in that sundown, they start to, like I said, don't want to be interested. It's a little bit harder to redirect them. And it's like where you get it more consciously aware on, but sundowning will have, like I said, veer off, and you're like, okay, let me get them to, because if you get to this point, you're not going to get through to them. So yeah,
Okay,
sundown
Not at all.
Like I said, they get different types of, and like I said, the other thing about with sundown and what we tend to see is, depending on the person themselves, a lot of time their personalities on the person that would see during sundowning. So it's some of their personalities come out stronger during that time than you would normally see. Like I said, it takes a toll, when you're trying to get things done with a person once sundown, and it's like, you know what, it's pointless to even start doing anything with them at that point, because they're not going to really respond.
Tina said something. Tina
Yep,
Coleman.
and
Hey,
that's what my dad.
Yeah, Tina said for my mom,
very
sundowning, she would wander, become combative and paranoid. Okay, so that's what you're dealing with, Dana. Yeah. Wow. Key, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. You look like you was ready to say something.
No, I had a question but no, I wasn't going to say anything about what we were just talking about.
Okay, well, go ahead with your question.
So as I was doing my research for this topic, I came across a quote that said, "I definitely have less energy and patience when interacting with my children and husband. I get overwhelmed more easily, but I'm trying my best." So there was a percentage, there was 46% of caregivers that reported that this has a negative impact on their health and well-being. They were suffering from depression, mood swings, and resentment. 40% had negative impact with their spouse or partner. So my question, I guess this may be more of a question, I guess, for Dana right now, is how has becoming a caregiver affected your family and your social life?
Well, for my family, I deal more so with the teenager in the house. I call her the Tude. The Tude in the house is the one that I have the most issue with, because she wants to say, well, why do I have to do this? Why doesn't Grandpa have to do that? And I was like, really? No, if you don't go somewhere and sit down with your silly self, ain't nobody got time for that. But as far as my husband, is he helps. I'm not gonna say he doesn't help, but he does help. So if I have to step out and I say, the food is in the oven, I needed it to heat up a little, or warm up, can you get it out and put some on a plate and get it to him? He will do that. Because he refuses to take certain colors, medications, and I'm crushing them. I'm putting it in a drink. And so, yeah, that's another issue within itself. They will refuse to take medication.
And the medications that he's refusing are for that thing that Shay was talking about I think it was last week or the week before, talking about congestive heart failure. He's on a medication to help with that. He refuses to take that med. He has gout.
Okay, we lost Dana, and she was on some good stuff.
Yeah.
Sharkel, you want to jump in on that one?
So basically, like I said, you do see where some people are depressed. For me, I think because I hold up in and I tend to try to do it myself, it was a little bit one of those things where others may have seen it in me, I would not have seen. So it's a little bit different. I can have a conversation with Jackie, and we may be talking about something that she sees something in me, and we've had deep conversations, in this, because she can probably see overwhelmed. However, to me, I never felt that way because, like I said, I was caregiver mode, and nothing else would have taken me from that. So, like I said, I had my select people who I would speak to, but on the same token, it was one of those things where, to me, I didn't see where my family affected because they really understood what I was doing. And so, like I said, and I'm more of a person who was non-confrontational, so I don't get involved in different things. I guess too, it all depends on the person, on how they carry themselves. They will go with that, because for me, I just always try to find a calm way of doing different things, and with that, just took of the stress, some of that stress off of me and my family. And being that, it was my mom, it was a lot, and my sister did most of it, but like I said, because we were in the States, it was also now the traveling. So when I had to travel, off of my sister, which was the main caregiver at that time, it was a little, so when I came, it was more for respite care for her. And now I'm in caregiver, so it wasn't so much, it was more or less, I was coming to relieve her, come back and do what I have to do. And I didn't give myself time because I know what I should be. I know, how I should be taking care of this. So I don't have time. You talk to, like I said, I find myself talking in and out of these different, modes can become overwhelming, where some people will depress. They will,
Can you hear me?
be so in a deep, dark place that they don't realize it until somebody else has to I really need you to go and just please let me take care of it. But like I said, as a caregiver, sometimes it's hard to give over that pain because somebody else can do it better than you. I have to say that in the end, it's just like you said, when it's your mom, dad, it's it's a personal thing for you. It's harder. However, I was blessed that because my sister and I were able to bounce, and so came for her. So now Karen with my in-law and my father-in-law, like I said, I feel like I'm just like one place together, but I can do it. And when it's time for me to sit down, like I said, and if anybody knows my husband, he'll tell you, you need to sit down. However, I'm going to do, but so much that, that step where I can. However, like I said, it is good to, have that in the back of your head. Like, I know he's going to be complaining if I don't sit down and relax for a minute, that kind of thing. So it does help to know that you have that voice in the back of your head. But overall, I think the type of person that I am kept myself from becoming depressed. Now, I mean, I have my moments. Don't we all have our, but I guess just in how you handle it, handle that. Like I said, because it is a lot. And the other thing is caring for caregivers. That's a whole defeat. That's another battle in it, because when you care for that is they feel like you're doing something for them. They still trying what you need to be doing. This is what you have. So in another realm where person that you like, this is not what I need. However, they may have done this like years ago different, and you're like, wait a minute, let me explain something. I'm just going to do it like this. It's just all the approach of taking care of somebody.
I remember taking care of my mother. This is years ago, because my mother has been gone now for 16 years, in fact. But she was a nurse, and it was very hard trying to take care of someone who was a nurse all my life, growing up or whatever, that was her profession. And just, doing for her and trying to do for her when she needed us, in terms of, being her caregiver, that was difficult, because nothing I did was right. Nothing, she didn't want to do anything. She actually didn't want to do anything.
Yes.
Let me jump down to a comment that Miss Victoria said. It's probably different when you choose it as a caregiver, versus being forced to take it on with a family member. Is that about right? And this is back at you, Sharkel, because I know that you have straddled both of the fences. Was it different? Is it different?
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. As when you, like I said, first of all, already have it. Your caregiver is one thing. All right, when you're doing different things, because I definitely from my family, with my siblings and I, because two of us are in the medical field and 3 of us are not. So it was a little bit harder for them to do certain things because they didn't understand. So when you have, and this is like I said, sincerely, I'm not trying to make it, one thing or another, but when you have siblings, you have family members to take care of. Sometimes it's a little bit harder for one sibling to take care of that. However, you should not make them feel guilty because they can't, because everybody cannot take care of another person. It may be that person who can support, but it cannot be that person to do the caregiving. That's why it's imperative that when we have these nursing facilities, when we have assisted living, when we have like in-home care, you want to have the person who is going to give your person the care that you would give them, and so it is a hard thing when you are forced into it, because some people don't know. I mean, most people try to like taking care of a baby, but it really isn't, because a baby is different. You are training that person. You're doing caregiver, especially for the person. That person is to tell you what to do. Whatever, because you know what is best for that person at this time. You have to now be trying to help your parent to get through things, and it's a little, but you have to do it with certain kind of tact, so they don't feel like you're taking their independence. And because when you get to the point where you feel like dependence from them, it's a whole nother battle that you have to deal with. So we try to, like I said, in how you approach your caregiving, I would say, yes, it is definitely different if you're forced into being in that position.
Wow. Wow. So let's talk about the financial challenges of being a caregiver, because I can only imagine, just because you're in the caregiver in that role, you can't always work, the way you would normally work, I suppose. Dana, I hear that you have multiple streams of income. And so you're straddling multiple fences. And Sharkel, I know you're straddling multiple fences as well. So how do how much effect as being a caregiver does it take on your finances?
For me, it hasn't taken a huge toll, and I guess it's because I was already home, so that was part of the solution too when it came to me taking that on. I was like, I'm already home. I'm home most of the time. um the only time that I was absent was when I was going when it wasn't COVID and I was at church. I'd be at church for choir rehearsals, dance rehearsals. If somebody said, "Can you do X, Y, and Z? Can you plan this party?" Yep, sure can. Selling Tupperware, absolutely. I was still doing everything, but I was then juggling everything else. So I had to make sure that meals were already prepared before I could even leave the house. Making sure that he had his meal, had his meds, his evening meds, and this before I had to crush, which I think that's where I got disconnected. um, Having to make sure all of that stuff was done, is done before I leave to go anywhere. Same thing as if I'm out, if I decide to go. Like I remember we went to a wedding last year in July, and we left, but I still had to make sure that he had dinner. So I always have to, or if I'm not going to be home. So there's times that I went out and I knew I wasn't going to be home for lunch, ordering if there's nothing in the house. Those are things that I mindful of, what it is that I'm ordering, where I'm ordering from, how they're preparing the food. So I always think ahead of time before I'm getting ready to do. I always call it my plan. My head is moving, and my head is consistently moving. So people say, and I say, you go to sleep, believe it or not, when my feet leave the floor, which the only they haven't it hasn't happened now because we're talking. But if we weren't talking, trust and believe this body would already be asleep, snoring and all. Drew would probably be going down the side and everything because I would be gone in a true sleep mode. Because that's just how I've always operated on the go. So as I've been operating on the go, I'm just moving and moving and moving. And then, like I said, when I stop, that's when I go to sleep. So I've been managing, I call it the hats. Oh, I got this hat on. Oh, I got two hats on now. Because while I'm preparing the children's lunch, I'm preparing grandpa's lunch too. All of them getting their lunch together, because that's what the children called my dad grandpa, because that's what Caleb walks around calling him. So all the children say, "Where Grandpa?" When he was in the facility for a short period of time back in 19. "Where's Grandpa? Grandpa not here. Where's he at?" I said, "He in the facility. He'll be home soon." "When?" "He'll be home." Putting on my hat. Gotta go get the kids. So when I'm preparing things, I'm preparing it in advance. So that's why even when I made the comment back, if you're wanting to do something for somebody, you're wanting to help a caregiver, ask them what their schedule is. Ask them to write it down if you want to come in and assist them. You want to come and sit a couple hours and take a load off of them. That's something that you can positively do. ask what trigger words are, because sometimes even like for me, I'm dealing with dementia. Ask what those trigger words are and know how to get out of it, because you got to get out of it. You can't allow them to sit and fester in it, because then they become even more argumentative and combative at the same time. And then you're dealing with a whole new beast. But yeah, putting on them hats, flipping them hats, I'm flipping them all day long. In and out, in and out, in and out. And I've been managing the same way I've always managed. And I do it. Y'all see I'm smiling. So I just roll with the punches. Oh, that's what y'all gonna do? Okay, I got a new plan. Let's do this. Oh, don't have that? Oh, yeah, okay. So we're gonna have this for dinner tonight. You know, the same thing you do as a mother. I always laugh because we as mothers, all of us on here are mothers. We as mothers, we roll with the punches. They say, oh, Mom, we don't have no milk.
That's
Oh,
it.
do we got some evaporated milk around here? We can make this evaporated milk work. I don't know what y'all do, but we gonna make it work.
Yeah.
Oh, no have no sugar, but we got some corn syrup. All right, we get ready to pour that, make that work. Hey.
One of the things that Key and I talked about was we tried to put ourselves in the caregiver position, and so that we could kind of like, because we really wanted to bring out so that others have awareness about, you know, the different types of, you know, levels or the places that you are in as a caregiver. And one of the things that we talked about was mental health. The mental health aspect of it. And I just want to say, honestly, from talking to the both of you ladies, it sounds as if you have a really good perspective in terms of, you know, how to deal with it, you know, and how to, you know, go through the situations and things of that nature. But the emotional experiences involved with providing care can strain even the most capable person. And you both are more than capable. But, you know, how do you deal with the, you know, the emotional experiences and the, you know, the stress? Because I know there's got to be some, you know, anxiety, feelings of anger, sadness, you know, isolation, exhaustion. Because I can only imagine, you know, with all of the hats that both of you are juggling, and you know, because Sharkelle and I are close, I know quite a bit of the things that she's juggling, but she hasn't shared them, so I can't really put them out there. But I know that you guys are both doing a lot. How are you dealing with it mentally, emotionally? You know, anything you can share that would, you know, give encouragement to somebody else?
Well, I mean, like I said, one, yourself, okay? And knowing yourself, you know how you can tolerate and how much you're not going to tolerate. That's not one. But yes, when you get into situations where you can get emotionally tied in, where it becomes very hard, because like I said, especially, okay, for me, when you're losing a person. So with in a situation with my mom when she was in hospice, it's a whole nother outlook. You're looking at it from a perspective. However, because of my medical background and my spiritual background, it's a little bit easier for me because I understood that, yes, this is she's going to be here with us. However, I do know we're not made to stay here. We are going to leave. And my thought is, if you do all that you can for that person, when it is their time to go, it's easier. Don't get me wrong. You're going to have your emotional times, you're going to have your tears, you're going to have your why times or whatever. But I feel like whenever you're giving care to a person and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're doing it correctly, you're not this person and you're giving, you know, all and doing it, it's supposed to be done, you can have that joy as well. It takes that pressure off of you. I don't know, like I said, for some people, I guess, not unless you, because I, like you said, so it goes where with as compared to being that person who this is just a natural thing for you. Don't get me wrong, some people learn to be caregivers because that's the route that they have to go, but it is a little bit harder when you, because used to it. I said, I've been doing this, like I said, since but like I said, I was that child taking care of the elderly people on my block. I was always making sure everybody was being taken care of. I'm a person who, you know, as long as I have it, you have it. So it made a difference for me because I grew up always wanting somebody to be taken care of. And so when I was in the position of being that caregiver, so like I did the home health, but I did also have personal things going on where, like I said, dealing with different children, going through different, said, with the going in and out of the court system and this thing. I had other things in my head that, yes, I had to juggle. I had to deal with, like I said, my daughter, she had her child when she was a teenager with, you know, like I said, the differences. I didn't grow up here. I grew up in New York, came here. So it was a little bit different. Even the changes of from one area to another area, learning how it is here, going to being with somebody else who's not my children's father. Like I said, Jerome, I met, like I said, that's not their father. So it was the blend family. And like I said, a lot going on. How being able to balance that, my thing is, and I can tell you, like I said, this is when Jackie and Candace and Pastor was seriously my backbone. And I knew that I had to be with people who could pray me through this, not just tell me, you know, oh, you're going to be fine, blah, blah, you know, that kind of thing. I really needed somebody who was going to be genuinely talk to me that, listen, I'm going through something. I'm going to tell you, it's not easy all by yourself, but in a way, I don't need you just to judge me. I need you to be that support. Like I said, if I'm going through something, I tell you doing this because I know this is what I should be doing. To approach it a little bit different. How you can't tell me not to be a caregiver because this is who I am. And like I said, many talks just on the phone and, you know, just conversations where it brought out these other different things. So you're going to go through different types of mental health issues. And I tell you, when I say people, when you take a mental health break, I don't know what job you're in, mental health breaks are what you need to survive. And I don't care if it's like I said, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sitting to yourself. Me personally, I put on my gospel music and I do what I have to do. I will be in the house while I have my music turned up. And if I'm just cleaning, that just calms me. It's me in a better space and what I need to do. Like I said, my thing, I tell you, is power in prayer. I had some praying sisters, because I'm going to tell you, Jackie will pray me all day. But however, like I said, and you are different things for your own mental health, because it can, you know, it's like one of those things where we have to really know ourselves so we can do what is, necessary to make it work.
It's 8 o'clock already. We truly are at the top of the hour. But you know what? I cannot shut down yet because real quick, Dana, give us real quick how you deal with your mental, just staying focused and staying in the right frame of mind. Because I don't want to go without hearing. Don't make it long. Just give it to us real quick.
It's gonna be quick. My support system, I have the same kind of sister. I call it sister circle. I got a sister circle, and my sister circle is my girl Ronette. It's one of my sisters. My other sister circle is my girlfriend Liz. Her name is Elizabeth. My other sister circle is my girlfriend Shanita. My other sister circle is another girlfriend, Toshiba. I got another sister circle. All my parents are in my sister circle because it's a family. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. And in this life, we all have to take care of one another. That's one of the things that I think we as a people, especially African Americans, we forget to take care of each other. We so worried about climbing to the top, but we got to take care of each other. That's what our responsibility is. That's what God asked for us to do, is to care for each other. When each one of us succeed, we all succeed. And so my circle is those are my people that I go to, my prayers. Ronette and Liz will pray like nobody's prayer over you, on top of you, through you, under you, and everywhere. Them people will pray you into the right spirit. Your prayer life has to be strong, to continue to keep your mental being. And if it's not, there's professionals out there. I've gone myself and laid on somebody's couch, and it's okay. That's another misconception in our community. Okay, it's okay. And those are my closing thoughts. It's always someone that can be a resource. Reach out to those people. Get a good resource person. If you don't know it, there's somebody out there that they will reach someone else.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Dana. You did keep that short. All right now. So before we jump off of here, Key, you got any closing comments?
Nope, I'm good.
You so quiet tonight. The kids done got you pent up by your toes.
No.
All right, everybody. Well, this has really been a good conversation, and that's what we like to call these conversations.
You have picking up my books. I haven't got my books for you. Look, she didn't hear me. I said I went and got my books for you. I said, let me go and show her my stuff, because I tell everybody I use my resources. I love this resource book. This resource book will help you take care of your senior. You hear me? That resource book is the Bible. This is the Bible for seniors.
Okay, I was gonna say hold it closer to the camera so they can see it. There you
see
go.
it?
Yes. Thank you.
This is for Baltimore City and Baltimore County. They have this out here. People be going spending money buying equipment. They don't have to. They give it to you for free. This all in there. When you looking for placements, daycares, assisted living, all of that is in this book. Everything in the book.
Nice. Do me a favor, Dana.
Take that in the grocery stores, in the local grocery stores.
Can you, Dana, take a picture of it and send it to me?
I sure will.
All right. That's it for us tonight, y'all. My producer is over here giving me the Well, I am your host, Lady J, and Key, our other host. We just thank both of you ladies for joining us tonight right here on Victory Talk. We just pray that something to our viewers, something that was said or shared is something that has been helpful to you in some way, shape, or form, whether you need it now or you need it in the future. Just come on back next week for another exciting, informative edition of Victory Talk. We love you. We truly enjoy spending time with you guys, and we look forward to chatting back with you guys next week. We love you. Peace out. God bless. Good night.